What's up everybody, my name is Benjamin and welcome to the speedrunning demonstration. I've already explained how speedrunning works around the world and how its popularity has gone through the whole internet. So now all that's left is showing you a little example. Allow me to present Crash Team Racing, the best racing game ever. Fight me. This is my favorite game from the whole world, so might as well try and speedrun it, right? I've been very much used to this game, so it shouldn't be a big problem. We'll choose the best character in the game, put a generic name in it. As you can see, I've already tried many times to do this, so it shouldn't be that bad. Timer starts when the loading screen covers the screen, and let's get started. Now, a couple of things to go with. First of all, we have this little glitch right here, where at the beginning of adventure mode you can actually move slightly. Saves about half a second, but hey, every second counts in speedruns. And we have begun! The point of adventure mode in Crash Team Racing is to go to these little warp thingies and get into a race versus 7 other computer players, beat them, getting to first place, and obtaining the trophy. The first thing I'm going to show off is the first mechanic of this game, called boosting, which is done by drifting and pressing the jump button while drifting as soon as the bottom right corner bar loads up and becomes red, like so. This allows you to go much faster than usual and charges up an invisible fuel tank that exists within the game code, which allows you to obtain Sacred Fire. Sacred Fire is the firing flames that are behind the cart, which are not that easy to obtain actually. Filling up this fuel is really hard because it depletes every single frame by a little amount, and there is 30 frames in every second, so it depletes extremely fast. As you just saw right there, the flames just run off immediately. The only way to activate Sacred Fire is by doing one of the drifting boosts while going through a turbo pad, and it allows you to hold up to the highest possible speed in the game without using hacks. So it is really useful for speedruns. There's obviously some shortcuts in every single stage, which I'll be using constantly in all 3 laps if possible. One of them being that one that you just saw right there, jumping over the little lake or puddle, using the side of it as a ramp to go over a little mountain. And there you go, that is the first stage. Let's keep moving faster and faster. Right at the end of every single race, you must press the X, start, and triangle button as fast as possible so you can skip all of the possible cutscenes. When we get 4 trophies, we'll be able to defeat the boss, and when we defeat the boss, we'll be able to go for the next stage. There is 4 bosses and the final boss in this game, so you must go for 16 stages, 4 bosses, and the final boss. As you know, as I've told you, speedrunning is all about trial and error. So sometimes I'll mess up like I just did royally right there, and I'll just have to recover somehow. And you won't necessarily see 100% pro playing gameplay on this video, but yeah, at least it's a good try. Alright? My personal best to finish in this game is of 1 hour and 12 minutes, while the world record is of 45 minutes, so I'm pretty far behind into how to finish it quickly, but pretty sure not everyone can finish it in less than 1 hour and a half. So I'm quite happy about my own personal best, and I can cut it down really easily with the amount of shortcuts that I should be doing. There is a lot of hidden mechanics within the game, like the invisible fuel for Sacred Fire, for example, and 2 other ones are called Speed Ghost and Froggy. Froggy is pretty easy to explain, and it's that if you jump repeatedly like so, and you obtain some special kind of speed, the speed will be held up even after it should have ended, because the rows in your wheels apparently lowers down when you're doing multiple jumps. The other one is a bit more complicated, called Speed Goes. It's kind of weird to explain, but it has to do with your card going down a slope, which will make it accelerate as a normal physics. But there's no real explanation as to why this happens. No one has been able to explain the coding between it. But as speedrunner, we just abuse it because it makes us go faster. So nothing to worry about that. We just do it. A fast way to turn around when you're not moving is that which I just did, which is by holding the brake, the back button, the opposite direction you want to spin to, and jump. Doing some froggy will allow you to spin really quickly in place backwards, which can be pretty useful for movement sometimes, but not in races, of course. As I said, there are many shortcuts in every single stage of the game, and some of them can be pretty difficult to do, like this one. You'd usually think it slowed me down, but believe it or not, thanks to Froggy and thanks to the speed I had, I was actually able to go faster through that, cutting at least 1 second. Oh gosh, I bumped. That's a really bad thing to happen. When you bump in this game, all of your speed gets completely nullified and you must recover it all over again. So bumping is very much not allowed when speedrunning, which is for you to notice that I'm actually not that good at this game. But I'll try my best to give a little good show in here. There's a specific slope in between these stalagmites that allows you to jump over that whole area, but I don't know where it is because it's pretty much invisible, so I guess we'll just have to go through the normal way, which is still faster than the intended way, so we're happy about that. You gotta be careful with these fireballs as they will completely nullify all your speed as well. The speedrun for this game is just basically going fast and obtaining all the shortcuts possible because it's just a simple racing game. Other games require certain mechanics to be done that are really hard to do, certain tricks that are not easy to be done, but this game doesn't require that much of that. The worst thing you could say is doing the shortcuts, but shortcuts are easy to learn within time. I will, however, try my best to do the hardest shortcuts I've found and somehow succeed with them, as I've never actually done them correctly before. So if it works out in this video, it'll be a first time for everything, and I'll be more than happy for that. Now, what else can I explain to you? Oh, splits! The thing you see at your left, at the left side of the screen, which has a timer and everything, is called live split. Live split allows you to count the time you're having while playing the game, the amount of times you've tried to do the speedrun, and the best possible times that you've obtained before. As you can see right there, there's 5 names written: Ripperoo, Papa Papu, Komodo Joe, Prince Stripe, and Nitrous Oxide. And those are the boss names because when I defeat the boss, I will press the button and I will show at the exact minute, second, and millisecond I defeated it. This is mostly for record achieving and record saving, so that next time I try to do a speedrun of this game, I'll have my personal best saved up right there. My old personal best is not there because I did it without using this program and just using a chronometer. So it's really sad to not have that saved up right now. I could have shown if I actually beat my personal best or not. Well, we'll just have to see. That was lucky. Which reminds me, items. In the speedrunning term of this game, items are not really that useful. Because of it, in first place, most of the items that are given to you are pretty much to slow down the enemies instead of to speed you up. So there's no real use of them. But sometimes you can get lucky and get a little booster, which I got back then, which will save a couple of milliseconds within the whole speed run. And sometimes, as you just saw right there, you might be targeted by the enemy with their attacks, and you might want the shield, which will avoid any possibility of you stopping. There's a couple of tricks in this stage, as you saw me doing beforehand, as you'll see me do right now, which is this shortcut right here. Go up the slope, jump, and go in between. You don't have to... oh gosh. You're not supposed to go to the tunnel that is shown forward, because... oh wow, I'm actually messing up badly. Because it will actually make you lose time. And those things that just happened right there are not supposed to happen when you're playing a speedrun, because you're actually supposed to be good at the game. But alas, I'm not as good as I call myself. As I said once again, speedrunning is all about trial and error, so next time I play the game, those things will not happen. I hope. Now, we defeated all of the stages, we got all 4 trophies. It's time to defeat the boss. That was an accident. That was not supposed to happen. Boss battles in this game are usually in one of the 4 stages that you've seen, and will have 2 specific things. One, the boss's cart is much faster than a normal cart, like yours. The boss will be slightly better at boosting than all the other computers. And the thing that you're not seeing right now, because I'm in front of it, is that the bosses will have infinite amounts of weapons. Yes, it seems kind of unfair. This boss right here, Ripperoo, has infinite amount of TNTs which will drop behind him. If you're not fast enough to go in front of him as quickly as possible, he will be a nightmare to go against. But because you're speedrunning this game, because you're supposed to be much faster than computers, they shouldn't be much of a problem. The only boss that should be a real problem is the final one, but I'll explain that once we reach it, so nothing to worry about that. The stage is pretty much the same shortcuts, same things to go through, just need to be careful with the TNTs if I ever find one. So going down the slope, speed ghosting, frogging to keep on the speed ghost, jump right here, get the boost, drop my own items for no absolute reason, more than trying to get a good item, more speed ghost, froggy to keep it. Then we keep boosting again to not lose Sacred Fire. And so on and so on. This game is pretty much doing that same thing over and over. And now that I've defeated him, as you can see in the split buttons, it says I took 11 minutes and 56 seconds to defeat him. And it will show the time for every single boss every time I beat them. So that could be interesting. We've obtained the first key. We can move on to the next stage. Sadly, we have a couple of cutscenes, but nothing that should really worry us too much. We'll just skip it and keep going. Another very important thing about this game, map movement. The game has this quirky little funny thing where you need to go through the map with your cart to get to every single stage. This, in the speedrun scene, oh gosh, actually allows for some funny things like what just happened right there. You actually require to move correctly through all of the map, because it actually loses time if you do it wrong, like I just did. The timer isn't stopped and started every time you go into a race, the timer keeps going. So somebody that actually moved correctly through the map might be at 12 minutes and something instead of 30 minutes like I am. This makes it so that you don't just have to be fast at races, you also need to be fast in the map. And you need to keep boosting at the map, and since in the map there is no turbo pass, you cannot get Sacred Fire, which can be pretty annoying, going really slowly. But I digress. It can be quite funny to sometimes do what I just did before there. Now, I actually missed that, I can't believe it. There is a shortcut there that you must obtain by hitting it with a weapon, but apparently I missed. My 3 division seems to not be as good as I thought. Oh well. Here I have an actually good item. Somehow, because I was 3rd place which I should have never been. And as you saw, it took me 43 seconds to go through that to the lap. But if I do it correctly now, it should take me a lot less, even without getting the special item. Now I actually have an item that will help me go through the shortcut, and it should save me a couple of seconds. Right here. Wow, that was not intended. But as you can see, even with that mistake, it still took me 38 seconds to go through the whole lap, so the shortcut does work correctly. I just needed the right item. And if I don't get the right item right now, I'm gonna be pretty mad. There we go. Some things can obviously be luck based in these games, and you must be careful with them to try and manipulate them, or at least to just hope. So right there, I just hoped that I got it, which is really good. We dodged it this time, and as is obviously noticeable, the timing was much smaller, 36 seconds. And if you're wondering, hey Benjamin, are these good times for the game? I will answer no. There is much better times for these stages. I am not the best CTR player that exists in the world. But oh well, what can you do? Another thing I didn't mention before, this game is really laggy because it's a PlayStation game. PlayStation 1 games tend to be really laggy when loading a big zone. So whenever that happens, you must change the camera backwards so that the lag doesn't come in. I will show an example later on once we reach a place that actually makes that happen, so that you can see how laggy it is. And you will learn what you're not supposed to do by not pressing the back button, like I am right now. There will be some stages in the whole game that don't really have extremely big shortcuts, so if you want to go to these ones, it's a high risk, high reward kind of shortcut, because it doesn't really help that much, and if you do it wrong you lose time. But if done right, can shave up some milliseconds. While in other stages, if you don't go through the shortcut, you will lose infinite amounts of time. But if you go through it, you will save infinite amounts of time. This stage, however, is not one of them, so I just go through the shortcut for the sake of shaving out some seconds. There's not much else to talk about in this speedrun because there's really not much else you can see. I'll talk about more things once new things start to come out, or if I actually get a really good shortcut. So please bear with me. I have a feeling you guys can actually hear how my buttons sound, which is actually a really good thing. Like here. Because it'll actually show that I'm doing this and I'm not actually just getting this pre-recorded from someone else. Something that can be done. Splice speedruns are pretty common, but I don't do that, so. Anyway, this stage, Papu's Pyramid, is a nightmare. Besides from it being the boss stage, it has these really sharp turns that can be really annoying to do. So if you keep looking at me messing up like that, yeah, you'll know why. It's because the stage is really hard to do. Some stages can just be annoyingly hard, even for the best kind of players, and sometimes even the world's best player can mess up the stage because of that. So I don't feel too down about it. It'll be fine. If we do this turnarounds correctly, I'll be really happy with myself. And that was really close to be the best way to do it, but it wasn't, so oh well. The intended shortcut for this stage is, well, first of all, this one. But I'm supposed to jump to the left side, which I didn't do. But oh well. And the unintended one is this one, where you just jump directly right there and get times between 34 and 36 seconds if you do it correctly. There is a bigger shortcut for this stage, which I still cannot do, which has to do with going to the left side, as I just said. And there's another one right here, which is going through this part. But for this, you need to be a bit faster than I was. And it will also probably make you miss this one. Thankfully it didn't. So yes, you must go here and try to jump to this slope right there, which I couldn't do it, but oh well. When you jump to that slope, you can actually get closer to the end of the line right here, which can save a lot of time, but fortunately it didn't happen to me. That was some really good pipe up pyramid. I usually do really badly in that stage, so I'm really happy about that. Let's just get to the final stage, beat the boss somehow, and move on. As you see, I'm not even in the middle of the whole game, and I'm already at 20 minutes, which can show you how slowly I really am for this game. Oh well, what can we do? Dingo's Cannon is one of those stages that is really annoying to go through. Has a bit of speed goes, which is quite interesting. But sadly it has the slopes, which ruin the whole speed goes point. And taking that boost is actually harder than it seems. I am still uncertain whether or not the right or the left side are faster, but I'm pretty sure right side is because it's closer to the turn. But oh well, we'll see. Not crashing into anything in this stage is really good. So that lap was insane. Not hitting any of the armadillos is a really good thing. We'll try to maintain speed goes this time. And I technically did it right there. So that's really nice. I got the turbo too. We don't hit any armadillos either. This is a good run, guys. This is a really good run. I tend to crash a lot of things in this stage. And I also got a lucky turbo, which is quite nice. 31 seconds on this stage. Pretty nifty. Usually it takes me 37. So we've abused of every single thing we could very well. Like so. Let's try and get it. Good. Let's not do that. As I said, it's really complicated to not do it. But oh well, I had a good run on this one. And I did not just fall right there. It was a visual bug. I did not fall. So I'm really happy. Let's go. Nice Dingo pyramid. I mean, nice Dingo Cannon. That was a nice stage. Really like that. Now we must watch one of the longest... Gosh. One of the longest cutscenes of the game. I am kind of scared every time I go into the boss. Just let me tell you straight up, because I actually tried to record this before, and the game just suddenly froze in front of the boss battle on the boss stage, and I just couldn't go into it. It was horrible. As you can see, the computer can pretty much do these perfectly, no problem, but I can't, so I must use other things to go forward. Pabu Pabu as a boss has... Oh my gosh, no. That was the worst thing that could have happened. Oh dear, you will see now how annoying it is to fight a boss from behind. Bosses have a limited amount of weapons, and Pabu's weapon is no other than the chemicals. There we go. Okay. yeah, you can kind of see how all the shortcuts and not messing them up can save a lot of time. It took me 44 seconds to go through the whole thing. But yes, Papa's weapon of choice is the chemicals, which make you trip down, go super slow, not be able to choose items. There's a lot of side effects that I can have. So thankfully I already went through him. There should be no problems now. I was quite scared, to be honest. That is not supposed to happen. That is the opposite of supposed to happen, my guys. I am actually quite scared. There's a slight chance I might actually lose the boss. Which is something that as a speedrunner should never happen. So I am quite afraid of this. I must be really careful. Even if it makes me lose time. I was actually quite nervous there. Oh dear. But anyways, trial and error, guys. That was hard. 25 minutes, 17 seconds to get to Papu. Not bad. Not bad. There's something I actually did not explain, which is there is a white timer under the main timer, which shows how much time is taking me between splits. So if you're curious about that, you can just check that little timer right there. As you see, it's right on 25 seconds, while the other one's at 25 minutes. So yeah, it is very different. Alright, now we have to go to the next part. Where is the next part? I actually forgot. And forgetting those kind of things is not good as a speedrunner. So you should have the game completely memorized. As I told you, map movement is actually very important, so I just kind of messed it up right there. But regardless of that, here, the third stage, the ice stage. This is a stage where lag can be really inconvenient. So when going inside this stage, you must hold the button. There we go. I was supposed to show you how I lagged, but I didn't. But oh well, I just want to go through this quickly, so I'm sorry. That place right there was one of the laggiest places in the whole game. So I had to be kind of careful. Blizzard Bluff, first shortcut. There you go. That is the first shortcut of this stage. Very simple, very self-explanatory. Dodge the boulder. Thank you. I actually bumped there. That was not good. Second shortcut. If I don't get this one, I don't get the third one. That was not supposed to happen, guys. Oh my dear goodness. I will show you the third shortcut later, I guess. But yeah, that was definitely not supposed to happen. This whole speedrun is gonna be mostly made out of that was not supposed to happen things. Oh dear. Okay, let's start again. Second shortcut. And third shortcut. Jump repeatedly. There you go. That is one, if not the hardest shortcut of the whole game. So I am very much proud of myself. It's a very precise jump over a little snow slope that is barely visible. So I'm quite happy about getting that. I missed getting rid of the TNT. So that's really bad. We're not getting the shortcut again. And as you can notice with the lap times, it really saves time to go all the way up there. But unfortunately we won't be able to do it again because I don't have the speed to do it. You must go through the second shortcut in order to get the third. It's a little setup for it, so quite sad about that. But anyways, we got through it. We're happy about it. Oh gosh, I was not supposed to do that. No, I got the cutscene. Go away. As I said, there is some triggers for cutscenes that you're not supposed to get, and I completely missed that one. But oh well, what can you do? Whenever you check new things that are unlocked, you get a little cutscene, so that was a big mistake. This stage, Dragon Mines. Start of stage, Speed Ghost. Yes, I am not kidding. There was a Speed Ghost right there. That is quite disgusting. First circuit, through the water. If you don't jump right there, it will actually make you drown, and drowning means you'll have to go through the thing again. There's another shortcut right there. That's where the train was going, but I'm not taking it first lap because you go too slowly through it. So I'll be a bit more careful about it. That train can be really annoying if your RNG is not with you. Third shortcut, just go closer to this side. Did not get the Speed Ghost. As for the Speed Ghost, you don't need to just go down the slope, you need to go decently fast. Getting the turbo rider was quite useful to get the shortcut. I think I can, never mind, I cannot go for it. I actually just missed it right there. Wow. Hope I can get it on third lap so I can show you guys how it looks like. But yeah, this stage can be a big nightmare, as you can see. There's really interesting shortcuts that you must go through that make you go slow if you don't do them correctly. The Speed Ghost here is not so easy to obtain. The amount of things that can mess you up are really high, and crushing yourself with the train can actually be quite a nightmare. Like right here, I might actually get crushed right now. Yep. And fall as well. Yeah, that was quite fun. That was not supposed to happen. As you saw, the shortcut is really difficult to do. So I intend not to do it again. Hopefully this stage is over soon. The shortcut should be enough to get me out. Yeah, that was horrible. That was a horrifying stage. I'll probably try it out once more once we go for the boss, because that's actually the boss stage. But if not for that, I will not try that again. Ouch. Yep, she said it. Ouch. Oh, wrong stage! This is the kind of things that are not supposed to happen in a speedrun, because you're supposed to memorize the stages completely. You're supposed to memorize where you're supposed to go. So I'm very sorry for showing this lack of gameplay. This is not going right. The stage was over here. Ooh, Polar Pass. I just realized it's this stage. This stage has the real hardest shortcut of the game. And I will attempt to do it, at least in the first lap. So you guys can probably see what I'm gonna try to do. So just let me get there and let me focus for a second. Oh, also, the right side of this part is faster. So just a little curious note right there. Okay, here we go. Here we go, here we go. No, I missed it. You're supposed to use this ledge, this slope down upwards, going backwards, and jump all the way over here. Yes, it is quite a nightmarish trick. I'll probably not attempt it again, and I'll just try to win the race right now because I got myself pretty behind. I barely dodged that. That was beautiful. Please clip that. As if you could. But yeah, that is a pretty nightmarish trick. I am really sad about that. There's not that many more tricks in this stage, just that big one that saves a lot of time, and that is really difficult to do, especially if you don't have a big lead against the computer, because they can crash you like that. So yeah, big disappointment. I had a feeling I could have gotten it this time. It was actually going pretty well. Yeah, this is the normally intended way to go through the stage. There's a tiny shortcut near here that I already did, so I'll just explain it right now. Which is going fast enough through this area, not hitting the little guys and going over that wall. It can save up to 2 seconds, so it's pretty good. And there is a third shortcut actually that you can go through, which is going through the snow in here instead of going through the ice and jumping from there. I actually missed the speed bumpers, I mean the speed path, so that made me not get there correctly. So yeah, as you saw right there, 1 minute and 1 against 1 minute and 5. The amount of time I lost on that trick is really big, which means I should not try it again if I cannot do it correctly. I'm sorry to not be able to get it, but oh well, what can you do? Maybe another time. That was close. Oof, that was close as well. I think this lap should be tons of times better than the other one, because I actually did everything right. I didn't try any weird shortcuts, I didn't try anything weird. Yep, this should be sub 1. As you can see, the lap can actually take 55 seconds if you do it correctly. And by doing those shortcuts well, it should take 45 seconds. So if you can do it in all 3 laps, it's a really big time save. Alright, now we can go to this stage, and now we can go into the longest stage of the game. Tiny Arena. I can't believe I messed up and went here before I should have. Whatever. It just lost me a couple of seconds. This, as you can see right there in the map, is the longest stage of the game. So this should take around 3 minutes. The amount of shortcuts in this thing are pretty much 0. There is nothing you can do in this stage to go faster than usual. All you have to do is be good enough at the game and turn around correctly, especially turn around correctly. Jump when you have to jump to get all the boosts possible. And try to not lose Sacred Fire throughout the whole stage, which is, believe it or not, harder than it seems. As you just saw right there, I bumped. Sacred Fire was almost lost. This is probably the least interesting stage in the whole game. It's literally just this. No crazy shortcuts, no crazy jumps, nothing crazy. Just a pretty generic big stage that needs you to spin a lot and has some hazards. Pretty normal. 1 minute, 12 seconds. And that was actually a decent time, by the way. Yeah, this stage takes a lot of time from you. If this stage had just slightly more hazards, you could easily say this is the wrong killer. Because it's a stage that takes so long to do, and there's no actual way to shorten it. This is probably one of the world record defining stages, because of how technical it is to just play well and go fast instead of doing really good shortcuts. There is another stage that is really long, but that actually requires you to do a really heavy shortcut, which lets you save a lot of time, which is one of the world record definers as well. But if you can do all the shortcuts and do them correctly without any problem, I could easily say that this stage is the real run killer. Just doing something correctly, getting 1 more second than you should have. 1 minute 10, not bad. I went to the wrong way. I almost bumped. But at the price of what? At the price of losing my speed. As you saw there, that's the kind of technicality that shouldn't happen. That's the kind of thing that you're supposed to worry about on this stage. To jump correctly, boost correctly, drift correctly. To the right side, to the left side. Do max boosts. When to do multi-jump, when to do froggies, when to not do them. Not falling into the mud. Careful with hazards. Many technical complicated things about this stage. Boof, bumping. Boof, mud. Ooh, less lucky. But it's not gonna make me save any time at all. I'll still get more time than I didn't notice. Laps. There you go, most serious stage out. Third boss. Another long cutscene. .40 minutes into the third boss, and the world record is 45 minutes. You can kind of see how far away I am from that. The world record should be right now at the final boss. So let's try and do this correctly. Speed Ghost. Boost. First shortcut. Jump. Pretty nice jump actually. Dodge that. TNT, in case he can hit it so I don't get slowed down. This is by far one of the most annoying bosses to fight. Not the hardest, but the most annoying, and it's just because of the stage. The fourth boss has the most difficult stages by many casual players, but when you speedrun the game, you realize a really good shortcut that just makes the stage a complete joke. Where even if you mess the shortcut, it doesn't lose you that much time. But this one, with its hazard and the little mine carts, yeah, it can be really annoying. Whoa, that was a weird camera angle. That usually doesn't happen. Well, there you go, something interesting for this boss. There was a weird camera angle right there. And that's the boss. 41 minutes 52 seconds. Final boss on the way. Oh, he's a jerk. Alright, let's dodge the loading screen. The big computer is to save and load, it gets you a cutscene, so let's just dodge that. And let's go to the final stage. Finally. We've reached a long way to get here. So let's move on. Let's go to the fastest stage of the whole game. Nitrous Gin Labs, or Engine Labs. By far one of the most fun stages you can find if you want to like going really fast. This stage has a new hidden mechanic called Ultra Sacred Fire, which is obtained on this pad. If you mini boost on this path and then not boost at all, you gain insane amounts of speed for a couple of seconds. However, this speed means the little invisible fuel gets stripped down even faster. So you must do a lot of mini turbos as much as you can before going there, and then begin doing mini turbos as soon as it's over. Really complicated thing to do. We can take the same path again, jumping right here, and it is actually so fast you can jump over those gaps. Froggy will allow you to go better through all the curves when you're using Ultra Sacred Fire, but you must be really careful when using it. The speed is so big that turning around can be really difficult, and sometimes you will just bump. Definitely not in here because it's a pretty straight line, but back there at the end of the stage it has a lot of turnarounds and a lot of gaps. It can be really easy to fall, as you just saw right there, even though that wasn't because of USF, that was just me being bad at the game. So yeah, you must be really careful when using Ultra Sacred Fire. But alas, this stage is still really fun to do when you get this little shortcuts, because of the amount of speed you can reach. Oh gosh, that was a bad bump. And there you go. As you can see, it is really noticeable what happens when you don't fall or fall using USF. 49 seconds versus 54. Yeah, it is very easy to notice how quickly this thing makes you go. Get it one more time. Oh, I actually did the thing that you're not supposed to do. Let me explain. When you jump from a big height, you actually gain the boost, as you've seen throughout the whole speedrun. But to keep on USF, you must not get any other type of boost. So me getting that boost when jumping, that was a mistake. I accidentally pressed the jumping button as we were going there. Oh well, what can you do? That's just a little mistake. It's alright. Let's go to one of the most annoying stages in the game, Cortex Castle. This one hides a really easy to see but hard to get shortcut, and a really hard to get Ultra Sacred Fire. So we'll try and obtain it somehow. This is one of the annoying stages of the game because it has squarey turnarounds. Like this one, where you must try and drift around before reaching the actual curve so you can actually manage to turn it around. It's one of the hardest stages because of this, or at least the hardest stage to hold up until Sacred Fire, because there's a lot of bumps. If you go slow, of course, then you won't have this problems, but the point of this thing is to go fast, so it is actually very complicated. The shortcut's right there, and this is the Ultra Sacred Fire, which I missed. Oh well. That pad over there that makes you jump so high has the Ultra Sacred Fire capabilities. You must mini boost over it so you can obtain the Ultra Sacred Fire, and not jump so you can keep it afterwards. And because of the sharp turnarounds, turning with the USF in that part can be really difficult. And you must just know how to do it. It is definitely the hardest Ultra Sacred Fire to hold up to. And for that, this is the hardest stage to hold up Sacred Fire to. The shortcut again. Hopefully they get it this time. I think I got it. Froggy to keep it, turn around. And as you saw right there, there is a lot of speed to be gained right there. That was quite good. 48 seconds instead of 52. Pretty good lap. Still kind of bad about not being able to not bump on this part right here. That's gonna come. Right here. There it is. Oof. That was close. I almost hit the spider. That is the actual way you're supposed to turn around right there. And if I can get Ultra Sacred Fire right now, I should be able to show you the lowest possible time on this stage. 1, 2. See if it keeps it. It does! Best time, 47 seconds. That was beautiful. That usually does not happen, so I am quite happy about that. Let's go for the next one. Hotter Skyway. This is the hardest stage on the game. For casuals. It's one of the longest stages that you can play for casuals, as it takes you about 1 minute and 12 seconds to pass without using shortcuts. And it has a lot of falls. So casual players will find this stage very, very difficult. However, we're speedrunning. So we can just get Ultra Circuit Fire right there. And pass the competition really easily, but only to do this. This is one of the best shortcuts in the game, as it will make the whole lap to be lower than 1 minute, when it's meant to be 1 minute and 10 seconds long. Definitely one of the most powerful shortcuts in the entire game, which makes one of the hardest stages into a mere joke. 59 seconds. How do you like them apples? That was delicious. The shortcut can obviously be made much better, but I'm still trying to improve into how to do it. The two important things about this stage are obtaining this Ultra Circuit Fire by not going to the other side, get into this place and braking. Get a little bit of boost and try your best to spin around in this part. And there you have it. Easy stage, easy shortcuts. To beat the boss, it's even easier because the boss actually runs in this stage. Another thing I didn't really explain that much was that thing right there at the end where I spin way too fast. I've told you almost at the beginning of the speedrun that when you're in place you can hold backwards, brake, the opposite side you want to go to, and jump multiple times to do a really fast spin. However, this is still useful when you're actually moving. You can actually do that. The only problem is that it's a bit more difficult and it kind of ruins your movement a little bit by getting rid of your oh no. This is the kind of thing I was talking about before, where you can mess up this shortcut yet still get some good time out of it. That was probably the average way to get the shortcut when you just begin to learn. But yeah, to do this turn you press backwards, side, brake, and multiple jumps, and you turn out really quickly. If you do it fast enough, you can actually reach the boost right there and not lose any speed at all. As you saw right there, 1 minute and 5 second lap by missing the shortcut completely. But alas, it is still shorter than the usual, so we're happy. And now it's time for the most fun yet most laggy stage of the whole game. The final stage, Oxide Station. This is the embodiment of lag, and we'll avoid all the lag. One of the longest stages as well, with the same kind of motives. Just getting a good shortcut to shorten it up to less than a minute. I will show it to you soon enough as we reach it, so do not worry about it. Ultra Circuit Fire in this pad, really hard to maintain right there, but it is okay because now we will jump right here to the left. Biggest shortcut in the whole game. This will cut down this stage, which is usually of 1 minute and 30 seconds, to less than a minute. It's one of the biggest time saves in the game, and you get to do it twice, because the final boss battle is in this stage. So you see right there, 55-second race. Sorry, 56. And it wasn't even that good, because I didn't get too many boosts at the beginning. This is one of the most fun stages to do besides from Engine Labs, because this one also allows you to go really fast. And the amount of mechanics you need to go through to get the different shortcuts are really interesting. As you saw right there, I almost kept the USF, but it doesn't matter that much, because the shortcut will still be obtainable. Getting the USF right there will obviously cut down a lot of seconds, but if I can't get it, it's okay. It's not something you can be really mad about. This is the kind of stage that can look really smooth when playing and can be really fun to watch. Unless that happens. 54 seconds. Yep, that shortcut is really broken. There is an even bigger shortcut for this stage that I still cannot do, and that barely some players have been able to do, which is jumping over a specific wall at the beginning, but oh well, I can't really show it to you, because I'm not even certain of how it's done. Oh, I almost kept it. That's sad. Let's just get the shortcut, doesn't matter. Ooh, something I actually haven't talked about. Wumpa fruit. Whenever we hit this strange brown boxes and we get those apples over there, those are Wumpa fruits. Wumpa fruits allow you to feed your engine and make you go faster when you're not boosting, which is kind of useless in some way because you are always supposed to boost, but there'll be some times where you actually won't be able to boost that much. Alright, fourth boss. Really close, guys. Oh gosh, that smile. That does not exist. Alright, fourth boss, Prince Stripe. His weapon of choice are the bombs, which he throws backwards towards you with actually really good aim. So we need to go past him. Thankfully the game developers didn't think about making him throw them forward, so we're not in danger yet. As you can see right here, it's in Hot Air Skyway, so really hard race and really hard battle for casuals, but not hard at all when you're speedrunning, as you can just do this. And of course also this. And there you go. There's the boss. I actually want to show you guys the map so you can see how far away you can get by doing that shortcut. There you go. The big lightning dot is me and the little small dot is the boss. So you can kind of notice that I'm pretty far away. And you can hear him just laughing, saying random quotes. Because the game developers really didn't expect you to go past him so quickly and so far away. They expected these races to be really close. Right, let's get the shortcut again. Ooh, that was one of the best ones. That's the intended way to do the shortcut actually. As you just saw right there. That was quite beautiful. I wish we could pass the boss by a whole lap, but sadly I think that's impossible. 54 seconds lap. Pretty nifty. I like that. That usually doesn't happen. I didn't get the USF, but it's okay. That is a slightly more safe way to get the shortcut. Not bad. You lose all your speed, but it's okay. And there you go. 59 minutes 36 seconds. We're really close to the end of the game. It's almost time. Let's look at the longest cutscene of the game. But oh well. Let's do it. Nitrous Oxides Challenge. This is the final boss. The final boss has a couple of capabilities, like starting on the third light, which makes it so that I can use its items against you really quickly. His card is also double as fast as yours, and he also knows how to boost. So you must be really careful against this little guy. This is the hardest boss in the game. He has all the weapons and all of them infinite. But of course, as I said before, when you get the shortcut, he pretty much becomes a joke. And goodbye, boss. I'll let the map visible again so you guys can see the boss right there. But yeah, on that first lap, on those first seconds, this boss can be a nightmare and can ruin your whole run completely, taking you away from the world record and everything. The stage took me 59 seconds, pretty much a minute to complete, just because of getting hit by that box. However, now that he's out of the way, you will see that it takes much less time to do the stage. I bumped there, that was bad. Oh, clean! That was beautiful. That was beautiful. 54 seconds. And there you have it, folks. That is how you actually do this. 59 to 54. You can notice how horrible it is to be right behind him, and how the game literally forces you to do so. This boss in casual play can be really nightmarish. I still remember how hard it was to defeat him as a kid. I kept the Ultra Sacred Fire. Look at that beauty. It's actually so fast that you can actually get through that. And I almost accidentally not get the shortcut. I should have calculated the jump up a little bit better. But oh well, that's just at the end of the game. A little shown on how you can get that. Timer stops as soon as I cross the line. So in a couple of seconds we should be ready with time. And time! 1 hour, 3 minutes, 21 seconds, 92 milliseconds. That was insane. That was beautiful. And there you have it, folks. That is Crash Team Racing Speedrun for any percent Warpless. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope to see you guys once again in the future. Goodbye.